Welcome back to Season 2 of Snubs and Dubs, where we're talking about the snubs and dubs of the 87th Academy Award for Best Picture. I'm your host, Kyle Tobiasson, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Jason Miller. Jason, how you doing today?
Oh, you know, just living on a giant rock floating through space around a giant sun. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, of course.
How are you, Kyle?
I'm good. It's so snowy, and it's March, and I just want to be out of this weather already.
Oh, dude, there was like a huge dump, and it snowed a lot too.
Did you watch anything in the last week?
No.
No?
But I want to watch the new Batman.
Oh, yeah?
My roommates went to that last night and texted me back saying it was good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I also saw new Batman last night.
Was it good?
It is really good.
Oh, I'm excited.
I really liked it. I'm actually going again on Tuesday with the fam.
Dang.
But yeah, it's 3 hours. I think it uses its length really well.
Okay, that's impressive at 3 hours.
Yeah, there's maybe some points where it was getting long, but overall, I was enjoying the world and the plot enough that I wasn't ever looking at my watch or concerned about what the time was.
Yeah.
Right? The score is fucking incredible, and Robert Pattinson is really good. He spends most of the movie as Batman, which is
I kind of thought they'd go more Bruce Wayne with Robert Pattinson than Batman.
But no,
they go more Batman.
Yeah. Also, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, so fucking good. It's really funny. He kind of steals a lot of the scenes that he's in because he's just out there. He just goes for it and it works.
Well, he's just a weird guy.
Yeah.
And then they just made him take that and now you're a villain with it. But he's still just a weird guy.
Mm-hmm. And the sexual tension between Batman and Catwoman, I was worried that they were going to avoid it.
Yeah.
Nope. They went for it. They went for the sexual tension and I was there for every minute of it. Catwoman also, Zoe Kravitz, really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm excited. I want to watch it. I'm probably going to try and go next week sometime. Fit it into the sketch.
Good idea.
Our baddie.
Yeah. It's definitely the best Batman movie since, The Dark Knight since 2008. So that's...
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, the best Batman movie since Dark Knight's a pretty low bar to get.
Yeah. The Lego Batman movie was probably the best Batman movie between then. But
yeah. But that's a spin-off.
Yeah.
Did you watch anything else?
I did. I was mostly into TV, as I've been a little bit lately. But I don't think I've mentioned, but I've been watching Euphoria season 2.
No, you've never mentioned.
Yeah.
How is that?
So it's finished now. So season 2 is done. They did announce season 3, and when they announced it, I didn't think that they would be earned or that it would need a season 3, but they left enough unanswered at the finale of season 2 that I was okay, that makes sense, I guess. But I was kind of annoyed that they didn't answer some of the questions at the end.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as strong as the first season, but it is way more entertaining. It is just off the wall bonkers goofball shit sometimes. The way that these characters interact and the scenarios that they get themselves in is just fucking absurd, but it is so fun to watch. And talking about it online and reading what people have to say about it and the fucking memes that come of it, it's quality shit. And so if only for that, I would say it's worth watching, but I think if you delay any longer, you're probably going to be out of that moment anyways.
Yeah.
And so yeah, well, definitely not as narratively strong as season 1. Definitely a fun watch.
Who cares? The spectacle's more important.
Yeah.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I have not watched any of Euphoria. And there's been a bunch of things, references and jokes going around that I have not understood.
Right.
Is Uncut Jams from Euphoria? What is that?
No.
What is no?
So
I don't understand.
Okay. Let me provide some context. I guess, so Julia Fox was in Uncut Gems. Have you heard of Uncut Gems?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the movie with Adam Sandler. The Safdie brothers directed it. So she was cast in kind of a role where she is Adam Sandler's mistress or girlfriend, younger girlfriend. And she had a relationship with the Safdie brothers, I think through school and then also through afterwards. I don't ever think it was a relationship,
yeah, but a friendship,
yeah,
or a professional relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And so she was dating Kanye at the time of that recording, and so they were asking her if she was Kanye's muse.
Oh,
and then they asked her what is a muse, and she just answered it by saying I was another person's muse, basically.
Okay.
And that's where the I was Ben Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems. You know what I mean?
Oh, finally I understand. Because I saw that and I didn't get it. And I just put that in the Euphoria folder of things I don't understand right now.
I mean, it's kind of like in that same boat, so I could kind of see where you could get that mixed up, because it is goofy shit like that happens in Euphoria sometimes.
Oh, beautiful.
But I caught up with Attack on Titan as well.
Nice.
I thought that I would catch up when they were about to hit the series finale, but I'm too short. So there's 2 more episodes coming out, one coming out this coming Monday, and then one actually coming out, I think on the day that this episode will go live, is where the actual series finale will land.
Ooh.
And I'm very interested because there's been so much going on, like a lot going on, like plot twists and reveals and character revelations and like flashbacks and everything. And it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like interested more than maybe I say I'm enjoying it. But I am enjoying it. It's just like I'm more curious now.
That's interesting.
I have to know what they do with it. I know the people that have read the manga, like it's all out there already. Like they know, and I know that there's been some divide with like what people felt about it,
as there always is.
Yeah, and so I think it'll be interesting, and I'll report back after I've watched the last one.
You know, it's probably harder to make people interested in your show than it is to make them enjoy it. Like you can make a fun show that doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
A la Euphoria season 2. But like to have a show that just grips you by what the story it's telling, that's better. In my opinion.
And like, it's one of those shows where if you were to watch the first episode of the series and the most recent episode of the series, you would have no fucking clue what is going on.
Yeah.
And like, it's so different. The series evolution has just been bonkers, but
yeah, it's fun with shows that run that long because you go back to the first episode and the stakes are completely different. Like in the however many seasons in between, like everything has gotten so much bigger, and you go from your characters like figuring out their middle school lunch to like now they're fighting gods.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, well, let's get into the movie we're going to talk about this episode that we both watched this week. Of course, season 2 of Snubs and Dubs is covering the films from the year 2014. And for episode 5, we are talking about Gone Girl. Had you seen this before?
No, I did not know anything about it.
That's exciting to me. I was itching to ask if you had seen this before, but I wanted to have it right now because I was excited because this is a movie that definitely has a different experience watching it through the first time than it does like watching it back again.
Yeah. I have not seen this to the point that at the start I went, oh, Ben Affleck's in this. That's cool.
That's cool. I'm glad you went in like completely cold.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen this before?
I did. Yeah. I saw it in theaters and I think I've seen it once after that. But I think this was my third time watching it. So yes, I've been through a couple times.
Okay, I'm interested. Rank your enjoyment by view number.
Oh, I feel like the first viewing is definitely the most enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because it's the one where everything is revealed and you can actually be surprised by it. And the first like half of it, you are maybe expected to believe a certain thing. Then when you go into it another time and you're not expected to believe that thing because you know the answers. And so you're kind of waiting for them to reveal those answers because you know that this is all like...
Yeah, that it's a mind fuck.
Yeah. And so I think the first time is definitely the most enjoyable, but I do still enjoy watching it over. And I did enjoy watching this again this third time.
Yeah.
And refreshing my memory of it because it is a very good movie.
It's a really good movie. I always I try to watch the movies as close to recording as possible because I just vacate things from my memory so easily. So I watched this last night.
Oh, wow.
And I wish I had watched this on Wednesday so I could have watched it again yesterday. Because afterwards, I really wanted to know what it looks like when you know the ending and what the setup to get there looks like with the knowledge of that. Because I was blindsided by everything.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what the movie wants you to like, what wants you to have happen.
Oh,
to just be completely blindsided by the reveal, but very cool. I'm very excited to hear your take on it. But if you guys were interested in Gone Girl or the book it was based on, I've included the links to the physical media related to it in the show notes. If you buy through those links, it'll help out our show. Or if you have any other Amazon shopping to do, follow that general link to help out our show in the process. A reminder, this is going to be a spoiler-filled conversation, which is especially important for this movie. So if you have not seen it or if you haven't read the book and you want to, go ahead and do so. But without further ado, let's jump into it.
Yeah, this movie would suck if you knew what happened.
Yeah.
In Carthage, Missouri, former New York-based writer Nick Dunne, played by Ben Affleck, and his glamorous wife, Amy, played by Rosamund Pike, present a portrait of a blissful marriage to the public. However, when Amy goes missing on the couple's 5th wedding anniversary, Nick becomes the prime suspect in her disappearance. The resulting police pressure and media frenzy cause the Dunne's image of a happy union to crumble, leading to tantalizing questions about who Nick and Amy truly are. This is directed by David Fincher, written by Gillian Flynn, based on Gillian Flynn's novel of the same name and story and everything else.
Yeah, it's cool that she did the screenplay too.
Because it translates so well.
Yeah, it does.
I don't expect a writer of like a novel to, well, I guess like when you're writing the novel, you have everything that's happening in your head.
Yeah.
So it's probably actually not that hard to translate that to a screenplay.
No, but like there's so much different like context that you can provide as like a book writer than to like a screenplay writer. And I think she did a really good job like translating.
It's hard to translate it this well.
Mhm.
And she does.
She does.
Stars Ben Affleck as Nick Dunne, Rosamund Pike as Amy Dunne, Carrie Coon as Margot, Neil Patrick Harris as Desi Coolings, Tyler Perry as Tanner Bolt, and Kim Dickens as Detective Rhonda Boney, which is a very funny name. As a runtime of 159 minutes and was released at the New York Film Fest on September 26th, 2014, otherwise known as my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, David Fincher and Gillian Flynn, for this beautiful present.
Like what? Like how many years ago is this? 8 years ago now?
Yeah.
Just the retroactive birthday gift.
Yeah, that's so sweet of them. What did you think? What is your feel going into watch number 3 of Gone Girl?
I really like this one.
God, it's so good.
And I think David Fincher adds a lot of his flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie benefits so much from the David Fincher feel. It is like so atmospheric in the sense that like it is almost claustrophobic in like in surrounding Nick's life. Mm-hmm. And the mood is so perfect for the movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's so like masterfully made. Like this is the perfect movie for David Fincher to make because it just everything works to his style and he cranks it up to another level for this one and it all just plays so well. Ben Affleck was a great pick to play Nick. What's her name? Rosamund Pike. Oh, what a performance.
Jesus, yeah.
Like I thought Ben Affleck was a good fit, but he's just like he's not giving the performance of a lifetime. Ben Affleck is just the right person to play that character. Yeah. But Rosamund Pike, wow. Yeah. I was in awe of her performance.
Me too. And every time I watch it, I always just like, sit there like with your mouth dropped how well she's doing this. And like, because there's flashbacks and there's different perceptions of what she's trying to put onto people or onto herself. Mm-hmm. And when you're like reading her diary and you're going back and you see this sort of like glowy, fun girl or like the cool girl that she says that she's trying to be for Nick compared to that later on when, you know, shit's hitting the fan or like she's being sort of cold and calculated and it's just totally different.
Yeah.
And they really emulate that with the 2 opening and closing shots of just her head looking at you. And when you look at those beside each other after the whole movie is done and like at the end one, she's got this just slight smile. Oh. And it's just fucking like bone chilling.
Yeah.
That's
a bony chilling smile.
Should we just jump into the plot then?
Yeah, give it a little plot some.
All right. So we're actually going to try something a little different this episode. I'm going to quickly recap the film through its Wikipedia plot summary, just as kind of a reminder instead of going through the entire plot. Then we're going to talk kind of openly about the movie as a whole and some of our favorite parts and such. If you prefer this format, let us know. We'll see how it feels through the episode and post episode 2. But we're going to jump into this synopsis. On their 5th wedding anniversary, writer-teacher Nick Dunne returns home to find his wife Amy missing. Her disappearance receives press coverage as Amy was the inspiration for her parents' popular Amazing Amy children's books. Detective Rhonda Boney finds poorly concealed evidence of a struggle in their house. Suspicion mounts around Nick, whose apathy is interpreted by the media as characteristic of a sociopath and even sows doubt in his twin sister Margot. In the past, Amy revealed to Nick that Amazing Amy was a perfected version made up of the real Amy's failures. Their marriage disintegrated over time. Both lost their jobs in the recession and moved from New York City to Nick's hometown of North Carthage, Missouri, to care for his dying mother. Nick became lazy and distant and began cheating on Amy with Andy, one of his students, while Amy became increasingly resentful towards Nick for making her move with him to Missouri.
I just want to say, that house that they're living in, did I not expect that to be the house of two people who are facing unemployment? That's a big house.
Yeah. I mean, Amy is like a trust fund kid.
That's true.
So
yeah.
And I mean, the house prices in Missouri are probably not.
But I think they were renting it too. I don't think it was owned because her trust fund gets mostly dried up by her parents.
True.
So I think they were just renting it and probably behind on that because they were behind on everything that was money related.
But they did say the house was in Amy's name. So
yeah,
is that
I think
like
the
a
rent
renting?
was.
Okay, that might be
I believe so.
Yeah.
Or the lease was for the rent, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Forensic analysis of the house uncovers cleaned blood stains indicating a probable murder. Boney unearths evidence of financial troubles, domestic disputes, and Amy's recent willingness to purchase a gun. Medical records indicate that Amy is pregnant, which Nick denies knowing. Amy and Nick had played treasure hunt games on every wedding anniversary. This year's clues include profligate items purchased with Nick's credit card, as well as a diary highlighting Amy's growing isolation and ending with the fear that Nick will kill her. That's where we kind of end the section of the movie where you're kind of meant to suspect Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you haven't seen this movie or read this book, this is where we're going to start revealing everything. So go do that. Like, this is your last warning.
Yeah, this is a very good movie to watch with not having one clue in your head of what's about to happen.
Yeah. So we reveal that Amy drives to a campground in Ozarks. Upon discovering Nick's affair, she had concocted an elaborate plan to frame him for her murder and make his motive appear to be monetary. She fabricated a long-standing diary that was accurate in its early entries, but later evolved into false accounts of spousal abuse and her increasing fear of Nick. She had befriended a pregnant neighbor to tell her fake stories about Nick's temper and steal her urine to fake the pregnancy results, all while hiding the friendship from Nick. She planted corroborating evidence of Nick's guilt in the clues spots for the, quote, treasure hunt for the police to find. She also splattered her own blood across a kitten and cleaned it haphazardly. She anticipated that Nick would be executed for her murder, as Missouri has the death penalty, and planned to also kill herself.
Yeah, that was wild when she did the reversal, because I didn't expect that she was actually going to kill herself. I thought she was just going to be a gone girl, and that kind of, she just drives off into the sunset.
Yeah.
And also, like, at the point where it's revealed that she's still alive, I, like, checked the time left on the movie, and there was still, like, that's halfway through the movie. And I'm like, wow, I already feel like I've watched, like, a full good movie.
Yeah.
And then I was excited when there was another good movie left in this.
Yeah, because like that reveal, it does come earlier than maybe you might think. Like it seems that the movie is about that plot, but there is that whole other section afterwards that Nick is like trying to get her back, or like is figuring out everything that she did, and is actually really starting to suspect that Amy did this to herself rather than somebody actually coming in and doing this to her.
Yeah, and it does a really good job of switching you from being like, oh, this Nick guy's kind of shady, to like, then you really dislike him because you're really sure that he killed Amy and is having an affair. But then in minutes, you're back on his side when you find out that Amy has set this all up herself and that he is actually innocent, just kind of a slob and a bad husband.
Yeah, and like really bad with public appearances and making just bad jokes at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And like, when the camera guy tells him to smile, he actually smiles.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is just, you wouldn't believe a word this guy says.
No, he's a little bit of a schmuck, and he's apathetic to the marriage because he doesn't love Amy anymore. So he was already going to divorce her anyways. So of course he's not emotionally impacted by her disappearance when he knows he didn't kill her. So he knows that she's out there when the detectives can kind of prove that she was taken. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
This would be a horrible first date movie. Could you imagine? Even just a date night in general, you like look over to your partner a little differently.
Seems like a rom-com.
Nick deduces Amy's plan and convinces his sister Margot of his innocence. He then flies to New York and hires Tanner Bolt, a lawyer known for representing men accused of killing their wives. Nick also meets Amy's ex-boyfriend, Tommy O'Hara, who reveals that Amy had falsely accused him of rape by planting evidence around his house. Nick approaches then another ex-boyfriend, the wealthy Desi Collins, played by Neil Patrick Harris, against whom Amy previously filed a restraining order, but Desi turns him away. When Amy's campground neighbors rob her, she decides to call Desi for help, convincing him that she had fled from Nick's abuse. Desi agrees to hide her in his lake house, and then Andy, Nick's affair, reveals their affair at a press conference. Nick appears then on a talk show professing his innocence and apologizing for his failures as a husband in the hope of luring Amy out of hiding. Boney believes she has enough evidence to arrest Nick for murder, but Tanner Bolt gets him off on bail. However, Nick's performance makes Amy realize he will not be found guilty and that Desi intends to keep her in the house and forcibly rekindle their romance. Amy uses Desi's surveillance cameras to help make it appear that he had kidnapped her and raped her before fatally slicing his throat while they have sex and returning home to Nick covered in Desi's blood, clearing Nick's name and framing Desi as the kidnapper.
What 180.
Yeah.
That was, I kind of like when she has no money and her car is out of gas and she's sleeping in the parking lot of a hotel. I was like, where is she going to go?
Yeah.
What's she going to do? It was a really good storyline to build up to Desi just like taking her to a secluded place with a bunch of cameras. And she's like, oh, fuck, I'm stuck.
Yeah. The one thing I don't always like about this movie is I don't necessarily love Neil Patrick Harris in this role. I don't think he's creepy enough.
No, he's kind of a sweet guy.
Yeah. He feels like what he's saying is gross and like it feels like the type of guy that is just like rich and will get whatever he wants and like he knows what he wants and he's trying to be controlling. But I just don't believe it out of Neil Patrick Harris as much.
It's like, I don't think he needs a little hint of like sympathy. Like he needs to be a little bit of like a sad person for this to really work because he is doing something gross and trying to control her and kind of keep her forcibly as his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But he does it so coolly that it doesn't seem as like, I don't know, it's not as scary because he doesn't seem as genuine about it.
Yeah. It's not like he's going to be like violent or anything.
No.
Like it's just little things like when he comes back to her one day, like buying her hair dye, buying her nice clothes and like telling her to work out and not to like eat like gross food, like taking pudding cups out of her hand while they're watching television because he wants her to get like fit and thin again because Amy was like eating to probably put on weight to disguise her face a little bit more. And so like he just wants her to be back to herself.
Yeah.
And he claims that it's like once you get back to looking like yourself, you'll start feeling like yourself. But like it's because he wants her to look like that.
It does not care for her. If he were to believe her story, then she is like a week removed from a potentially life-ending domestic situation. And he's like, yeah, but when are you going to be sexy? When are you going to wear the cute little number I bought you?
Yeah. And like there's the scene where he basically is like, I'm not going to force myself on you. And
I mean, but the implication.
Yeah. And like you have to believe because like there is a cut between like a time jump basically where from that moment when the interview happens and Amy's watching to when she decides to kill Desi because by that time like she's cut her hair is dyed, she looks like back to normal, like she's thinner, and you have to believe that she's been planning this for like a while.
Because there's so many cameras and security. It probably took her a while to come up with a good enough plan to get out of it all.
And so like, were they like having sex like the entire time? Probably. Yeah. Which is just,
I assume so.
Amy's fucked up.
Yeah.
But also this guy's fucked up too. Like in a way, like you look at it and you're like, well, she did this and now she's finally getting kind of a comeuppance in a way, but you can't look at it like that because it's just so gross.
Yeah.
And you don't want that to happen to her. But then, I don't know, she's kind of like almost put herself there.
every character except for one has that where a lot of bad things happen to them, but also they took part in the situation resulting in that. So even though you do feel empathy for how, Amy's stuck in this house, but it was because she tried to frame her husband for murder. And Nick's in a shitty situation, but it's because he was a lousy, unfaithful husband. So even though all the reactions are not equal to what had transpired, they still played a part in it.
Yeah.
The only person who was really done completely unfairly is Margot, who remortgages her house to pay for the lawyer ruins her life for her twin brother and gets nothing out of it.
No, I mean, I feel like that'll get paid back because there's like an offhanded remark that Tanner makes where they reveal that he's got like a book deal and like a movie deal for like the story of this like event. And so I feel like they're probably going to get money back from it and she'll be able to pay it off. But like, was still like, I mean, very nice of Margot to stand up for her brother and do that. But I also wonder, like, what if the robbers didn't rob Amy? Like, what if she didn't get to that point where she had to call Desi? What would her plan be then if she saw Nick was not going to get done, basically?
I think she had to come back if he doesn't get convicted and then make another move because she wants his life over and ruined.
Yeah.
And if her plan fails, then she'll just try again with something else.
Because like the robbing basically forced her to be with Desi, but also planted a perfectly little wrapped up solution in her lap. Because now you can say this guy who had reports of stalking and previous like restraining orders type stuff against him, and Nick saw at the volunteer event. And so like you have a sense that he has this presence in Amy's life where he wants to be with Amy, but then he's not basically allowed to and Amy's pushing him away. And so you have that believability that this guy would go and kidnap Amy, try to like groom her and be horrible with her, and then she could escape by slitting his throat. Yeah, so I always wonder like what would have happened if she didn't have that.
Yeah, well, she would have had to come back, and I think she would have had to come back before the court case.
Yeah,
because I think that's why she acts when she does against Neil Patrick Harris, who has a character's name, but it's Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
It was because she had to come back because I don't think she liked her chances of Nick losing the court case. There wasn't a whole lot of evidence. There was no body still, and everything that they had was still kind of just like, it could have gone either way if it actually went to court.
Yeah. And like her story is like paper thin. Like it works. And it obviously in this last couple paragraphs here, I'll wrap it up. But like the FBI believes it, but like Detective Boney's just like, but what about all this other shit that like you set up? Like, why are you basically telling me that it's irrelevant? Why are you dodging this question? And like, they're all just like, okay, we'll handle this. Like, can you leave her alone? Like, she's clearly been traumatized, but she's wearing Desi's blood, like almost like a performance piece, like a badge of honor in a way.
You'd assume that would get washed off by the hospital.
Yeah. And like, also, why didn't she call the police as soon as she slit Desi's throat? Like, if you were really in that situation, and like you managed to get your kidnapper dead or, something else, you would try to call the cops, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And like Desi wasn't at home all day.
No.
And the phone lines weren't cut off.
Well, I think she was saying that she was tied up the whole time that she was there.
Oh, right.
In her world. But as soon as you kill your kidnapper, you should be contacting the police.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely do not drive home. But she had to. There was no other move that she had left. That was her one Hail Mary pass, was coming back to Nick.
Yeah.
And I guess just saying that she was, probably too traumatized to think about doing anything else other than just being in her loving husband's arms because that's all she's got left.
Yeah. And I love how she just crashes into something as she parks the car. Like, you managed to drive all the way back here perfectly, flawlessly without hitting anybody. And you just like have to make it dramatic for the press. She's such a piece of work.
Ball.
Yeah. So as I was saying, after Amy returns covered in blood, Detective Boney probes into the holes in her story, and Amy chastises her as incompetent. The FBI sides with Amy, forcing Boney to back down. Amy tells Nick the truth and admits to Desi's murder, saying that the man she watched pleading for her on TV is the man that she wants him to become again. Nick shares this with Booney, Bolt, and Margot, but there is no evidence of her guilt, and so they can't do anything. Nick intends to leave Amy, but she reveals that she is pregnant, having inseminated herself with Nick's sperm that was stored at a fertility clinic. Nick reacts violently to Amy's insistence that they remain married, but feels responsible for the child. Despite Margot's objections, he reluctantly decides to stay with Amy. The, quote, happy couple then announce on national television that they are expecting a child. That's it.
That's crazy. Man, what a story.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not expect any one thing that happened. I was blindsided to the whole thing. I tried to kind of think and like make predictions, but what was happening? Where was going to go? Nope, not even once was I even close to correct. It was all taking me on a wild ride, and I loved it.
Yeah. Great. Was there ever any point when you were watching it that you thought it might be Amy doing something? Like Amy might have had a hand in this?
It wasn't until pretty late that I thought of it. Was when they opened the shed to see all the stuff that was bought. Then I'm like, oh, it was a setup. But that's also the big reveal where they tell you that it was a setup.
Yeah.
So I maybe beat it by like 5 seconds because then it switches to her in the car, just confirming that. So that was about the best lead I had.
Yeah. I like when Nick starts to get like kind of more confident in the fact that he knows that Amy set her up. Like when they find the diary and then the last line in it is, this man may kill me.
Yeah.
He straight up said, he's like, that's a pretty convenient end note, don't you think? Like,
also, I love how it was like tenderly scorched in a furnace and then left there. Like someone had like quickly flipped it on and off thinking they burned it or something. Like, pretty incompetent, but I think she assumes at that point that everything else is so much of a home run conviction that it doesn't matter.
I made a note. Ben Affleck's first line in this movie is, His Majesty prefers not to be moistened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you really don't like the first thing out of his mouth.
Kind of funny. I kind of like that intro. I was kind of into that Ben Affleck right there. Yeah. He's just a lovable guy. Like, I just want to hang out with him.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, like this is good casting because Ben Affleck in the public eye has like received scrutiny and like has been disliked for various things. And so like to put him in this role, it's kind of meta in a way.
Yeah.
But it really works.
Like what a turnaround for Ben Affleck.
Right.
Because he was cast in Batman like during, I think, filming for this, he started doing Batman.
Wow.
So
good for him.
He went from 0 to bat pretty quick.
So I think this one's really fun on a rewatch too. And you'll probably rewatch this.
Oh, I would really like to.
Yeah. Because you can kind of pick up the signs of things going on early. But like I was saying, I don't think the reveal is special a second or third time.
It can't be. No.
Yeah. Because like once you know that point, the whole first half of the movie where it's trying to convince you very well that Nick is the killer, it's kind of like thrown aside when you know that Amy set this all up.
Yeah, that's a whole half a movie building is something that you already know, so it's not going to have much impact on you.
No, but it is still fun to watch, and it is interesting to see like how badly Nick makes himself look to the media. Like
he keeps messing up. The guy can't get a thing right.
Yeah, like when that random white woman just is like, oh, I'll give you a fucking casserole if you take a picture with me, smile. And then he's like, actually, can you delete that? She's like, no, I will share it to whoever I want.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, I just don't want you sharing that, planting the idea firmly in her head to go share that with everyone she can now.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, that picture shows up on the woman's, on that, what's her name? I forget the TV interviewer.
Yeah, the newscaster. I don't remember either, but like
she like fucking crucifies.
Straight up. I love the scene at the end when Nick is talking to the TV host who is now filming him and Amy in a positive light for coming back together. He's like, just giving her the gears about how, like, inferring that him and his twin sister were having relations. Yeah. And she's like, well, I never said anything, with like a sly little smile on her face. That was like the one comeuppance he had where he really got someone under his thumb, was a 2-second one-liner to some news anchor.
But she didn't internalize any of that.
God, no.
She's just chasing after the story, and everything past the point where Amy comes home, like you feel so bad for Nick.
Yeah.
But it is, and you also feel like terrified because this woman is scary.
Yeah.
I don't know where else to put it, but like
she's terrifying. She's a robot.
Yeah.
A proven murderous robot.
Yeah. And like she even puts herself into the role again, like once she's back home. Like she's making him fucking crepes in the morning.
Yeah.
And like she's just doing everything that she thinks that she should be doing as this proper like Western white woman housewife sort of thing. So she's trying to play the role again that she thinks that she should or that Nick wants her to be, because she went through all that effort to get Nick back to the point where she wants him to be.
Yeah.
It's so confusing, but it's also so damn good.
Captivating.
Yeah.
But it goes into like uncanny valley mode where when you first meet her and you just are introduced to her at face value of this is who she is, she seems like a cool person. But knowing that it's just a facade and that she has been acting this way for that many years and she is whatever she wants to be, it is chilling to see her go back to that way, because now it's the same person, but you know it's 100% fake.
Yeah. And like this movie is kind of entirely about like performances and the media and like how you appear to a certain person and in a certain time, because like Nick appears differently to his sister than he appears to the media or to the people that are watching him on TV. And Amy will appear differently to the people that read the Amazing Amy stories and say like, oh, you're the person that, you know, these amazing stories were based off. Oh, you must be so amazing. So like it's supposed to be like living up to those amazing expectations, but then not. And your parents are actively taking your failures and turning them into this like character that's supposed to be you. Yeah. To have that be their accomplishments. And I feel like that has to have some effect on you as a person. Yeah. In terms of like how you're performing to people. And so when you find this person like Nick and her other two boyfriends too, that she like thought that she could be someone for, but also kind of groom them to be like a person. And she becomes like a totally different person. And then Nick in himself also admits to basically putting on a facade when he was first with Amy, because he is not that guy that's like so outgoing and cool and forward and witty and that sort of thing that he is when they've been together for so long. Yeah. Like he kind of relaxes his facade, and that's when Amy sees, like, that's when he's playing video games and like fucking slacking off and all that other stuff that she doesn't like. But that's just who he is. And he was pretending to be someone else, and Amy believed that. And so she relayed that performance with a performance, and then Nick dropped his performance, but she still wanted her performance to be matched. Yeah. It's
and like she comes
so
at
weird.
this from the angle of something who's not human. Yeah. And because like you sympathize a little bit with Nick, because trying to be cooler than you actually are to impress someone is a very human, normal thing to do. Yeah. What Amy does, none of that touches the realm of normal human thing to do. No. But also with the Amazing Amy stuff, like her entire livelihood is based off this fictitious rendering of what she could have been. Yeah. And that's got to weigh you down.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to drive you to murder or something.
I also wrote another one, a note that I liked the overall incompetence of Nick. I liked the one line where Detective Boney is trying to get him to solve the clues that Amy had left. And he's like, hey, I know this one.
Yeah. When he's really happy that he knows the biggest layup one that she's put together. She basically says, go to your office. Yeah. He's like, wait, I know where my office is.
Yeah. Oh, it's really good. I also really like Tyler Perry as Tanner Bolt, like the lawyer. Strange casting, because he's like, you know, mostly known for comedies or being Medea. So, but like he was really good.
Oh yeah. Every single character who has any kind of line in this movie plays the part really well. Yeah. And I think Perry it was a good call because he kind of plays it a little goofy, but that's who the character needs to be, like a little levity. You can't have a super serious lawyer because this is just a day job to him. This is just like an exciting new client he has.
This is just another man who's killed his wife. Yeah. Just, you know, just another day.
It's Tuesday for you.
Yeah. And obviously the last note I had here was that Rosamund Pike is so fucking good.
Oh my God. It's insane.
Terrifyingly good.
Yeah.
I do know that she was nominated.
Oh, she was.
But I don't know who won. But like she's at the top of my list for best actress right now, because like she fucking crushed it. This was like peak Rosamund Pike so far.
It's kind of sad whenever a performance that is so head and shoulders above everything else doesn't get doesn't win.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is she going to be back here for a take 2? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. You can't rule out a renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it was such a good performance. I cannot wait to see whatever beat it out. I already have this one etched tentatively into the massive giant snub list.
Yeah.
And it better be something tremendous to beat this.
Yep. We'll see though.
Speaking of award details, you want to?
Yeah, let's jump into the rest of it.
All right. What do you think the critics and audiences are saying about this movie to their friends?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna assume it's like decently high.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say like maybe 85 critics and like maybe 80 audiences.
Oh, close. They liked it a little more than that.
Yeah.
Critics 87 for Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences would say agree. Also 87 on
cool.
Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb 8.1. Metacritic 79.
Damn, that's really high actually.
That is quite high.
Yeah.
And like across the board too. Like a Rotten Tomatoes 87 for critics is roughly equivalent to like a Metacritic like 7.5. Or like you can subtract 10 and be comfortable with like that's a translation over.
Yeah.
But this also made bank.
Nice.
$367 million on a budget of $60 million. Pretty
Damn.
clean $300 million profit.
Damn, that's good. Yeah.
That'll get rid of some credit card bills. And it was number 19 at the box office. Every time I open up that box office, I am blown away by like, first of all, the sheer numbers that movies are pulling in because every movie seems massive.
Yeah.
But also which movies are at the top is because it's not any of the ones that I thought were that amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, we already know Transformers was the biggest one that year.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about Transformers.
No.
And I'm pretty sure we're not going to talk about like the Hunger Games series, but that one also was a massive blockbuster.
Yeah. I mean, like the Hunger Games, was this the last one or was this catching? Which Hunger Games was it?
Second one? I don't remember.
I feel like it was either Mockingjay Part 1 or 2.
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick here. Mockingjay Part 1. So
Okay,
Part 1 of the third, and then it's like one of the Hobbit movies, one of the Transformer movies, other stuff in there.
Yeah, those three I don't think we'll talk about. Hunger Games would be a difficult one to talk about because it's like Part 1 of the finale of Hunger Games where there's also 2 previous ones.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were ripping, and I'm glad that it got the attention it deserved because I feel like this could have been a movie where people just didn't give it the due.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at anything until after I watched it, and I was very happy with the rankings and everything that it made. Because if this was in the realm of Bound, where it didn't get a lot of attention, didn't get a lot of money, this would be one that I would be yelling out in street corners, go watch Gone Girl by David Fincher. Here's a link.
Yeah, it feels different because David Fincher obviously has such like a strong filmography that like you can maybe forget about Gone Girl sometimes, but it is one of his strongest too.
Oh yeah. Well, do you want to move into ranking time?
Sure.
What are you giving Gone Girl for enjoyment?
I think I'm going with a strong 4.
4? Yep. I think that's solid. I'm going to slap down a little 4.5.
Nice.
I think this was very close to my top tier, but I don't know, maybe you could have had more of Ben Affleck's penis. You only get a little sliver. It's only a little scooch. Craft.
Yeah. Oh, really, really strong here. Cinematography is really nice. Costumes are just like character.
They're people.
They seem normal. Yeah.
They're clothes that human beings would wear.
Yeah. The score was cool too. I
think the score was really good.
Yeah. It really worked with the movie. Man, I might go 4.5 on this one.
You're going 4.5?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to keep the theme up of going 0.5 higher. That's a 5 for me.
Nice.
It's a tight movie. There's nothing that fell behind. All of it packages together so nicely. Execution.
Fucking, this might actually be, but then.
You know what I think about? The only thing that makes me not immediately go 5 is Neil Patrick Harris.
That's what, that literally was just the thought that I had in my head. That's what I was like, I think I'm going to go, no.
I can't because Desi's Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah. It's just the one part of this movie that feels a little bit off.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't because it's such a critical moment. And he's such a key character in this whole thing. You just needed like a creepier actor or maybe somebody that wasn't in a popular comedy for so many years. And I get like casting against type, like Tanner Bolts was Tyler Perry. Like, I guess like he's still kind of in that sort of light character, in this sort of very grim movie. But yeah, so Neil Patrick Harris felt a little bit off. So I think because of that, it's going to 4.5 because everything else, especially Rosamund Pike and especially the screenplay, is really fucking good.
Oh, I am right there with you. I just wish someone else was Neil Patrick Harris because it's just him. Is Barney Stinson in the movie again?
Yeah.
I'm sure Neil Patrick Harris has more range than this. Just give him a chance to do something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe he likes these roles. I don't know. Rewatchability.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I've said, I've watched it a couple times already, and I think I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go 4.
4? I think that's solid. I'm going to slap this down 4 as well. I want to watch it again, but this isn't one where I'm going to move heaven and earth to watch it again because I feel like the first experience is like the experience with Gone Girl.
Yeah.
And then an additional one would be nice. Would be a little cherry on top.
It would be a fun one to watch with somebody who hasn't seen it before.
Yeah.
And just to like look over when they open the woodshed, you're like...
Yeah, I think the second time I watch this movie, I want to watch it with my girlfriend and just look at her the whole time and go, did you see that coming? Ooh, I didn't. Did you see that coming? Ooh, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Well, scores. Kyle, you have given this particular movie a 17 out of 20 for 85%.
Yep.
I have given it an 18 out of 20 for 90%.
That's strong.
Yeah.
Also, I think the 85 is worth it just for the Blu-ray that I have because it's actually kind of nice. It comes with an actual amazing Amy children's book.
That's cute. Oh, that's a nice little touch.
They went above and beyond for that, and 2 thumbs up for the physical media effort, which nowadays
you don't see that.
Sometimes lacking.
Okay, before we do ranking, I want to add a hypothetical column for every movie that's based on a book. Did the movie make you want to read the book?
Yes, I think I would. I'm not a big book reader.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is like, I should probably read some more books. But yeah, I would like to read the book.
You don't actually have to commit to reading the book, but I'm curious if it like encouraged you to watch it more or counteracted it for you. I think I'm the opposite side. Because I've watched the movie, I don't think I want to read the book.
True. Yeah, that's fair. I would like to read what the inner monologues maybe were.
Yeah.
What characters were thinking and feeling more so. Because you can get a little bit more feeling out of that. But I kind of hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I think one of the hard parts with Gone Girl is you can only experience it for the first time once, and it's either the movie or the book.
Yeah.
But if you read the book first, I bet you the way to go is read the book and then watch the movie, but that's how I feel about pretty much every adaptation.
Yeah.
Is that's probably the highest enjoyment level because I don't want to read a book after I've seen the movie version of it. But
yeah, I feel like this would be a book that you wouldn't reread, but it's a book you might want to read after watching the movie, and the movie is worth rewatching.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
It is a strange one. I agree, though.
It's also like another one of David Fincher's films, Fight Club.
Yeah.
Which is like, that one has a reveal at the end that changes the context of the rest of the movie. So you can only really watch it and have that first experience of watching it once, because every time after that, you always know what's going on. And that's like a good thing, but it's also, it's like against the movie in a way.
Yeah.
Because every time after that, like you will never get the same experience. Or every time after that, you'll get the same experience because you can only have the first experience once.
Yeah.
I'm explaining this very poorly.
Well, like there's movies like Fargo that's just a good, fun, enjoyable movie. I could watch that 100 times. I will love it the 100th time as much as the first.
Yeah.
But when the first is so good and can be completely recontextualized, you can't. The second's not going to be as good. It can't be.
Yeah, with these movies that have like big plot twists or big reveals, like it's always the first time through that's probably going to be your best time.
Yeah. Well, time to put it in the ranking. You ready to hear our so far unanimous decision on ranking?
Yes.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler. Big Hero 6. American Sniper. Where are you putting in Gone Girl? This is a tough one.
It's actually difficult already.
I know.
I didn't think it would be this hard, but I should have known in a year as strong as this.
Yeah. I feel like our top end is really tight.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little looser. Big Hero 6, American Sniper, there's room in there. But Nightcrawler, Interstellar was already a hard call. And now you got to work a third into here.
Yeah. That's where I'm kind of, I just don't know. Okay. I'm appreciating Interstellar for how big it went.
Yes.
And I think the scope and the scale of that just edges out Gone Girl,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if Gone Girl is better or slightly worse than Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm.
Do
I
you
think I have
yours?
my
Okay.
ranking ready.
Go ahead.
If you need a minute.
Yeah, I might need a second.
I want to leave Interstellar at the top because it is such a movie. It's
Yeah.
like, this is, you grab a bag of popcorn, you sit your ass down, son, and you watch this giant screen tell a space story.
Yeah.
And I feel like Gone Girl is a very good movie as well, but I
Yeah.
just don't get like the awe with it that I
Yeah.
had with Interstellar. So for me, this is going to be my new number 2. It is going to inch out Nightcrawler. That one could change. This could be an end of season finish. It is getting so tight in there that I'm making moves I might regret, but that is going to be the play. It is going to go Interstellar, then Nightcrawler, Big Hero 6, then American Sniper. I forgot the movie. We just had Interstellar, then Gone Girl, then the other movies that I said.
Yeah. I think I'm with you there. I'm pretty sure number 2 is a good spot for me. Nightcrawler, as we've said in our episode on it, is really tight and its performances are good. Definitely Jake Gyllenhaal carries most of that movie though.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this movie has more in its whole than Nightcrawler does.
I'm with you there. It's
Yeah.
a bigger story, in my opinion, too.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of the time when you can well execute something that has more parts to it, I will enjoy it more and think higher of it.
Yeah. So I'm comfortable putting it at number 2. So
Yeah.
top 5 is unanimous so far.
Alrighty. This is the same thing that happened with 96, but it could change any week.
Yeah.
We could have our first big blow up fight of season 2.
And last season at episode 5 was Fargo. And Fargo held strong for the remainder of the season.
For one of us.
Well, yes. But
Mhm.
it was at least number 2. It was at least in top 5
Yeah.
for the entire
Oh, yeah.
season.
Well, do you want to move on into fun letterbox reviews?
Ooh, hit me with those fun letterbox reviews. Was there a lot of Ben Affleck hate in this? I
No.
feel like this would be a place to hate Ben Affleck.
Oddly enough, I didn't see a lot, and I tried because normally I'll grab like the top review activity, and then I'll go to, if it's like an overwhelmingly negative movie, then I'll go to the top like high rated or vice versa,
Yeah.
depending on the reception. So for this one, overwhelmingly positive reviews. So then I
Yeah.
tried to go to like the negative ones, see if there's anything fun in there, and it's just people disliking the movie, which is fine,
Yeah.
but not entertaining.
Yeah.
I want comedy in my letterbox reviews, and you're just going in there saying how you didn't have fun with it.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's you doing you, but do it funnier. God damn it. Well, overall, this movie has a 4.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so the people loved it.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who loved it, Wesley R. Ball, 5 stars and a like. Whenever I think about getting back together with my ex, I watch this film. Works like a charm. This is just take the crown of toxic ex and they get back together and it does not go well.
That's great.
Baby did save the marriage technically. Not in any like, it kind of turned into a hostage situation, but still.
Oh man.
All right, number 1 Gizmo fan, 5 stars. Watching this with the David Fincher commentary is so funny because he loves this movie so much, but he hates Ben Affleck so much more. And 90% of it is because he wouldn't wear a fucking Yankees cap.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and that one's in the fun facts later.
Yeah.
I'm going to tie that one in. Jay, 4 stars. And I apologize. I'm going to try and do a little voice.
All right.
If you know the movie I'm trying to do the voice of, you realize that this is really shit and I'm not good at this.
Okay.
Nick Dunne. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Margot.
Basically the movie.
Yeah. That was Tommy Wiseau from The Room.
Yeah.
As you can tell from.
That masterful rendition.
Thank you. Sophie, 5 stars and a like on a rewatch. That shot of Ben Affleck's dick is the worst directorial decision Fincher has ever made.
Yeah. Just like the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like a surprise.
Surprise.
Ben Affleck penis.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's in the fun facts or not. If it is, I'll skip it again later. But Ben Affleck had to kind of be convinced to do that scene. And what David Fincher told him is he wanted to tell this story, warts and all. But why is your naked body the warts of the story? How did Ben Affleck hear that and then go yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I will get naked. It's
Let me show my warts.
yeah. I want to tell the bad parts of the story too. It's oh, my penis is the bad part of this? Okay.
Oof.
Yeah, well, award time. As we had said before, it was nominated for just one. which was Best Female Lead Actress for Rosamund Pike. It didn't win.
Was it just the one?
That was the only thing it had an Academy Award nomination for.
Fuck.
This is going to be sliding into some snub territory, I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
That was it. Everywhere
Damn.
else, it was nominated for both Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Actress.
Yeah.
At the BAFTAs, it was nominated for both. I don't think it won either of those either, though.
Wow.
But then, like, a recurring theme is that a bunch of critics really liked the screenplay and Rosamund Pike. She did clean up some, like, small wins, but nothing major for what she did, which is disrespectful.
Two snubs in the categories of psychopathic characters.
Yeah. Just the Academy just wanted normalcy for 1 year. People. Some interesting fact time, because there's quite a bit.
All right.
Ben Affleck's weight fluctuates in the film, with him being a fairly average build at the start to being very muscular at the end. This is a result of him being cast as Batman in Batman vs. Superman.
Oh.
So at the end, when he's in the shower, he's kind of cut.
Yeah.
At the start, he was not cut at all.
Yeah. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I think it's a little subtle because he wasn't in full Batman form yet.
Yeah.
But if you just like the same way that if you look at the two first shots of Amy in that, and it's a little bit different at the end, it's a little bit sinister. We go from just a portly, lovable Ben Affleck to like, he's a little cut in there.
Yeah.
There's something suspicious going on, and it's muscle. Ben Affleck postponed directing Live by Night in order to work on this film with David Fincher, even stating he's the only director I've met who can do everybody else's job better than they could. On set one day, Affleck changed the lens setting on a camera an almost indiscernible amount, betting a crew member that Fincher wouldn't notice. Affleck lost the bet as Fincher brought up, "Why does the camera look a little dim?"
He should have delayed that a little bit further. Live by Night was like just horrible, critically panned. I never saw it, but I didn't want to.
Oh, God. Oh, poor Ben Affleck. Whenever he hits a massive success, you got to chuck some failure in there, too.
He went from literally winning Best Picture for Argo to Live by shit.
Like, Die by Night. David Fincher's musical brief to Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross was based upon a visit he paid to a spa wherein the music meant to relax him, but he perceived it as creepy and made him feel uncomfortable. This gave him the idea to set the music as though it's passive and relaxing, but actually instills a sense of dread.
Yeah,
Does
it
that
worked.
well.
Yeah. And those guys have since won Academy Awards.
They cleaned up.
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails, also masterful score composers.
Yeah.
Good for
Who
them.
would have known?
The bar, the restaurant in the movie, is now a real restaurant exactly where it was filmed in downtown Cape Girardeau?
Yeah, I struggled to say that too.
Missouri.
In Missouri.
Downtown Missouri.
Cool.
And finally, tying this back to the Letterboxd review, production of the film had to be shut down for 4 entire days due to Ben Affleck's refusal to follow David Fincher's vision and wear a New York Yankees cap for a scene where Affleck's character Nick is at an airport. He wears it for about 2 seconds.
Yeah. 4 days.
4 days.
Jeez.
The Bostonian actor said to Fincher, "David, I love you. I would do anything for you, but I will not wear a Yankees hat." Eventually, the two settled for Ben's character to wear a Mets cap. Fincher jokingly describes Affleck's actions of this as entirely unprofessional in the DVD audio's commentary. I love how it's like he jokingly describes this. That's not a joke. He's saying that was entirely unprofessional. It was. People weren't paid for 4 days because he wouldn't wear a Yankees cap.
Just make it a blank cap. Why does it need Yankees?
We know he's from New York. Oh, God. And also, why did it take 4 days for them to go like, okay, their other big sports team then?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, Kyle, do you have any other thoughts on this particular movie?
No. I did want to know, when was the book written?
2012.
Oh, so 2 years turnaround.
Yeah, it was, but I think it was like a pretty big immediate hit.
Yeah,
where it blew up. And also, I didn't include this one because it wasn't like that cool of a fact, but Reese Witherspoon originally had the rights for this movie.
She was producer on this. I saw her name in there. Yeah.
She was going to play Amy.
That wouldn't have worked.
Nope. And she recognized that. And when she kind of like, when David Fincher was brought on and they're talking about like the direction of the movie, she bowed out because she was not the actor for this. And I'm sorry, but thank God.
I mean, like, yeah, know your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still, if you were a producer on this, you produced one hell of a movie.
Yeah. And it made money. So you made money. So good for you.
Yeah. We all win. Except for Ben Affleck had to shut down production for 4 days. That's insane. On that, I kind of grew up on that one.
Yeah.
My last thought on this is Gone Girl is pretty good.
It is pretty good indeed.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you guys all for listening to season 2, episode 5 of Snubs and Dubs. As always, you can find us everywhere on social media at Snubs and Dubs. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Letterboxd, etc. We're also on Good Pod, so make sure to check us out there and join our official Discord. We would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Gone Girl or on this episode, so please send us a tweet or a message with a question, recommendation, or anything else. I'm also at Kyle Tobiasson on Twitter, and Jason is at Wendy_Mills. Of course, all of those links are going to be in the show notes. Make sure to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Share the show to everybody you know, and check back next week for another episode. Here's a sneak peek of the film we're going to talk about.
Jonathan, you got out once. You dip so much as a pinky back into this pond, you may find something reaching out to pull you back in. It's personal.
Where'd you get that car?
What does it matter?
It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
Nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
That's right. Next time we're talking about John Wick, so make sure to watch it before next episode. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Thanks for listening. That's a wrap. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.